Where do I begin? We were in my basement. It just keeps going. So, I don't know where to start. So, this is our basement. I have a plan. So I've had a plan for a while. And that plan was to try and like waterproof our basement as much as possible, paint the cement flooring, and then like paint the walls, put up some like makeshift walls to kind of make like more of a hangout space. We talked about maybe getting like some games eventually to put down here, like an air hockey table or something, and make it like a secondary hangout space. Also because our godson, who's 13, could come and like play his video games when they come over. So that would be like a fun space for him too. And also I just like watching VHS tapes down here because I stole my mom's VCR and some home videos, so that's been really fun. I started this organization project down here back in like December before the new year. I was like gearing myself up, and my best friend and I, we both did it together. She like cleaned out her closet and we kind of like FaceTimed simultaneously as I was like cleaning the basement. She was doing her thing, so we could like cheer each other on. It's not terrible, I will admit. It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. But there's still just a lot of stuff down here that I know we don't need or that we haven't used even since moving in here. So I have a lot to declutter, to organize, because my goal is to kind of get everything in one area for like storage, or like a few spaces for storage. Our laundry's also down here. And then when we got rid of our old couch, we actually put it down here when we got our new couch upstairs. So now the couch is in the middle down here, which is a cozy space. But now the couch is here with our old TV and like all of the stuff that I have to go through. So it just doesn't have a defined space yet. And I will kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll try to find some inspo pics of like what, there's a girl that I've been following who on TikTok has been doing like all this DIY. She's on day like 130 or something of making her basement cozy, and she started with a very similar vibe to what we have, which is just an unfinished basement, and she does amazing things. And so like she's my inspo for sure for like kind of visualizing what I want down here. Long story short, we are rebranding, we're closing Sleepwitch, we're opening a new store, and what that means is basically I need to feng shui what we have down here, get rid of as much as possible to create more of a creative space, a space for us that's like separate from the dog, separate from everything else, that doesn't take up space upstairs. So this is our space, right? And it's a pretty big space down here. We have plenty to work with. So really what that means is I just have to get my shit together and figure out what we have down here. And I'm hoping to at least just kind of like clear out one of the corners to try and start like visualizing what that creative space could look like with like a table and like giving us space to kind of set things up. So between you and me, the basement is a shit show, and I want to un-shit show it. Let's do it. I don't know what this bar was used for before from the previous owners. It's like our only spot down here for me to hang clothes, so it looks a little creepy, but it works. Alright, first things first, I'm starting with this bucket. My mother-in-law was so sweet, and she's also in the process of moving. She was like, hey, I have a bunch of party supplies I'm not going to use anymore. Do you think you could use them? And I'm like, yeah, probably, because we'll do something at some point, or my mom can use it. So I'm going to go through this box that I haven't really gone through yet, see what can be donated and what we can use, and go from there. Okay, I got back with tape. I just put one of those old boxes together that we used to move in here, and I put everything so far for donate in the box. The other thing that I thought was very weird was these fugly valances that are super, super dusty were in like a well window down here, and they were like it was kind of like crooked like this. Like I don't know what the vision was for having these hung there, because there was not anything else like this in the house, and it just seemed so random for the one window to have these. So I'm gonna shake these off really well, probably wash them, and then I'm gonna put them in the donate bin. There's like, I don't know, 8 things of paint in here. And then over here, like 6 mops? What is going on? That's like a concern, right? Why do we have so many mops here? And they're all gross and like kind of broken. So those are gonna go to trash. Also, is it just me, or does it feel like I'm like being held captive down here? I feel like even though it's so bright outside, it's so dark and like dingy down here. I feel like this is like the beginning of a found footage film. Side note, I was down here doing laundry on FaceTime with my mom last weekend, and the light started flickering. One of the lights started flickering, and it's a light bulb that I had just recently replaced. So I'm like, if any of them should be flickering, it's not that one. And on FaceTime, she's like, oh, if you're a friendly ghost, blink twice. And I kid you not, it went boop, boop, and it blinked twice. When I tell you, like, that was so crazy, I think it was just a coincidence, because even though I do believe in spirits, this house has had, like, the cleanest, purest energy. And when we moved in, the previous owners, I think it's a Polish lore thing, they left pennies over all the door frames. And so as I was doing the initial cleaning, I'm like, where the fuck are all these pennies coming from? Like, why do I keep finding pennies? And then I looked it up, and that was one of the things, was that it's like, I think, prosperous and like clarity. So that was really sweet. And we've never had any like weird feelings here. We've never felt like a presence or anything. I don't know if anyone's died here. In the state of Illinois, they have to tell you. I believe we asked and they said no if anyone's died here. So I don't know. It's just weird. Also, this is our missing chair from upstairs. It is missing in the move somehow, even though they were all tight. I loved our movers, by the way. They did such a great job. They were so fast. I don't know what happened in the process, but this lost like 2 of the screws, so you can't sit on it right now. And I haven't figured out the right size screw. But side note, fuck Ashley Furniture. We ordered this table when we were in the townhouse because we had a super tiny, we didn't even have a dining room. It was like shared with the kitchen. It was like an eat-in kitchen, and we needed a really small circle table. I looked for months at thrift stores. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. I looked at garage sales. Not a single small round table existed when I needed one. So it was cheap. I mean, considering how expensive furniture is, it was cheap, but it's like not, the very first day that we had it, it got scratched on the top. So don't, you know, I don't know if you needed that PSA. But if you were leaning towards getting something at Ashley, this is also the couch that we got from Ashley, and you cannot take the pillow, like this, you can't take the covers off because it's just loose filling in there. I'm like, who makes a couch with pillows that you can't take the covers off of? It didn't even cross my mind that we would have to look into that before we bought the couch, because I'm like, I didn't even think they made couches that you could do that with, or couldn't do that with. But I was proven wrong. So, long story short, I do need to keep this because I need to find the right screws for it so that we can have another 4th matching chair upstairs. But it's just been living in this basement, and this is another reminder of something that I need to fix. A couple pieces of trash and then a bunch of cookie racks, and I think I'm going to use this so if I come across any other food items like those party pieces that my mother-in-law gave us, I'm going to use this bin for extra like kitchen things or like kitchen gadgets. So that's the game plan. I also really want to redo this. This was like a shadow box that I made for Jacob that has a lot of his grandma's who's passed away pieces, like some of her glasses frames, some articles, some Chicago things because she was like the biggest Chicago fanatic ever, and some earrings. And I think at some point something fell off or they got unpinned. So this is definitely one that I want to redo because it would be really cool to hang it up upstairs. Also, this is crazy. I was actually looking for this to give Jacob. He really went to school for criminology, and along the process he ended up talking to Dennis Rader, who, if you don't know that name, was the BTK killer. And they talked on the phone, and Dennis sent him letters back. And I knew somewhere in the move I had a box with like other keepsakes that had this binder in it, but I just found it, and it's got the letters from Dennis in here. So that's just kind of really crazy and definitely worth holding on to. I have a bucket for everything that we use for our vision board parties with like extra silverware, bowls, wine glasses. So even though it only gets used like once a year, it's nice. We just got everything from the Dollar Tree, but it's nice to have that. And my mom doesn't really have a lot of space at her house. And I also hosted this year for the first time, so I'm gonna house that stuff here. Like, what even is this? Notepad? It's not a notepad. I'm sure I either thrifted this for like 25 cents or got it at Goodwill, but it's like, I don't know, stamp here, so maybe you put like letters in it? I don't know. I'm gonna let someone else enjoy that. Dude, I knew I had more of these. I don't know if you can see. They're like the drapery clip rings. I was searching all over to find these last weekend because I've been on a cafe curtain binge of making those, and I was like, I know I have another pack somewhere. Here they are. These are going upstairs. We've had these for years. I'm finding a lot of like thumbnail drives and like SD cards. I have no idea what's on any of these. Do you guys just have that? Like, what the heck could be on this? I don't think I've used a thumbnail drive since like middle school. Maybe high school a few times. I don't know. Also found Nightmare Before Christmas. Now that I have the VCR, I can play this. Fun fact, my mom's dad was, he was really into illustration. He did a lot of things. He was very creative, made cartoons. He was very artistic, and long story short, he like spent so much money on all of these like plastic cased VHS tapes when they first came out for the Disney movies. So my grandma has like all of these, and this was one that I always watched at her house. Okay, this bin is dog stuff. I've had this forever, and I've just like thrifted, or we've been gifted or found on clearance a ton of dog stuff. This dog tornado, I found this on clearance at PetSmart one day. I think it was like $4.99. And Rummy, fun fact, Rummy and Nero love puzzles. They love to do like finding things or puzzle related toys. Roman is our little simpleton, and he does not get it. He does not understand it at all. You can show him, you can do it in front of him, he can watch the other dogs do it, but as soon as it's his turn, he literally has no idea what to do. And we have On Angel's Wings near us, which is a dog shelter, like thrift store, so all the proceeds go to the dogs. And it's really awesome. They also have like the shelter inside, so you can see the dogs that they have for adoption. It's really cool. So I think I'm actually going to donate most of this stuff to the shelter. And they also have like a dog section in the thrift store where you can shop for dog things. So whatever I'm not keeping, I'm going to donate to On Angel's Wings because I love them and I think what they do is great. And obviously if there's other dogs that can wear this, that would be awesome. Rummy also likes to wear this one. It says The Boss. We always joke that Nero is the prince, Rummy's the queen, Roman is the king, and Jacob and I are their peasants. Alright, it's the end of day 1. This is definitely going to be a 2-parter, so subscribe, like, drop a comment. Let me know if you have any of these relatable basement items because I know I'm not alone in this and it feels so good to get rid of so much stuff. We did a huge drop off at On Angel's Wings today, packed the car to the gills, and I can't wait to show you part 2. So stay tuned. Be sure to stick around for part 2. That'll come out probably next week. And thank you so much for being patient for this first one as I was like figuring out storage issues and so many things. So not the best launch of my channel that I was hoping for, but here we are. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for part 2.